Hello? Hello, love? Jeannie Shannon! You're here! Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah! Getting ready to rock and roll! I'm a truckin' across the USA. Yeah, I'm truckin' just about every day. Yeah, I'm truckin'. So what you got to say? I'd like to hear it today. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like to hear it today. Hey doggies. Trucker John OTR. Tuesday, Thursday, live streaming on YouTube, 9 a.m. Pacific time. And sometimes Saturdays at whenever. Please? Won't you watch? Just waiting for some more people to see if they'll hop in here. Just checking it out. We got Jeannie, we got Jackie. From somewhere in the United States of America is Trucker John O.T.R. Who knows where I'll be live streaming from? It could be a rest area. It could be a truck stop. Or maybe even a Walmart parking lot. That's right. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. It's the Trucker John OTR live stream. And sometimes other times. That's right. That's right. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. All right. I was gonna see if I only see like one person, one thumbs up. What's up with that? What's up? What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Here I am in, this says Lebec. Lebec is up the hill, 54 and sunny. Not a bad day today here in California. You see the hills are all nice and greened up from all the rain they've been having lately. And it's a nice day. Nice day. It's a nice day in the neighborhood, wouldn't you say? Old chappies? I would say it's a nice day in the old neighborhood. Let's see here. So I'm just going to take off. I don't know if you saw my earlier video that I posted, but I don't know, I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place, I guess. I had to do every 90 days, I have to do a DOT inspection. And I failed. I got a big major repair I got to do. But I'm under a load. And on the weekends, there's really nothing I can do, really. So I'm just going to start heading out, getting a little bit closer to the drop. I want to find out, I probably won't know until Monday, if they want me to finish the drop or if they're going to have to set up a relay. And a relay basically is when you have another driver will come and pick it up. I unhook and he'll hook. So that's what the deal is. But I'm gonna go ahead and head on over to Palmdale, and so for the drive, we could do that drive. We're gonna go up over the mountains to Tehachapi, and then down from there into Mojave, and from Mojave down into Lancaster, and then Palmdale, and then that's where the pilot truck stop is. Hey, Jolie. I decided to go live, so thanks for hopping in. Thanks for being here. We got Jeannie, Jackie, and Jolie, and I'm John. So it's the J Day, I guess. Today's the J Day. Happy J Day, everybody. If your name don't start with a J, then you ain't cool. You ain't cool like us. We're the cool J's. So I guess without further ado, well, I got a few minutes. I gotta wait on my clock here before I can take off. And I got plenty of fuel. I checked everything. The fluids are all good. Everything's good. But like I said, I just didn't pass that inspection. And did you say that? Oh, woo. Did you say woo? Wait, what'd you say? I don't know. Anyhow, someone owes Jeannie a Coke. Am I not? I better make sure I'm on live chat. Maybe I'm not seeing all the chats. Whoops. What have I done? No, you said you're not cool. Oh. Did you say that? Is that, like I said, I don't see the thing for like all chats on my iPad. It just says, well, okay. Oh, here we go. They got a new thing here, community moderation, and then there's that. Okay, so that was on top messages. Now I'm on all messages. If you weren't a J, if you're not a J, you're not okay. No. So anyhow, well, here we are, the J Club, and I guess I got it on all chats now. Hopefully I've squared that away. But so we're gonna go over to Palmdale, good old Palmdale, California. I know a lot of you folks are from back east, so try to see. So think of LA, right? You got LA over there by the coast, and then if you just drive about probably 80 miles, kind of northeast of LA, that'll get you up in like the Palmdale area. And you go, and there's a couple of mountain ranges that separate LA from Palmdale. And by the time you get up to Palmdale, you're out in the desert. It's a desert community. So just trying to paint the picture, theater of the mind for you guys. So yeah, the plan is I want to get this load figured out, what they want me to do, if I'm gonna be dropping it off or they're gonna relay it, and then I want to get up to Vegas and get back up to my home turf. Hey, there's KO. You're not a J, but that's okay. You're an honorary J today, KO. Honorary. Maybe I'll just call you Jinneth. No. Hey, all letters are welcome here. Okay. It just so happens that J is the coolest. Okay. You can't help if your name just start with a J, but all letters are welcome. Okay. So that's the plan. I'm going to be taking off. Oh, okay. I can take off right now. I could do navigation, even though the navigation wants me to go over this way, but I'm going to take another way just in case. I don't know if I want to go to that scale over there, to that way station.
Drive the road to your right. On I-5.
So I'm going to kind of do a different route. Hey, WW131. welcome to the J Club. But like I said, all letters are welcome. KO says, but I'm a K. That means I am the boss, like in Men in Black. Just kidding. You're the boss man. WW says, big hug gone bad. Yeah, that was a crazy hug, man. Look at all those hugs. Look at all that. Get out in here. Bring it in. Bring it in. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit the road. You guys are more than welcome to join me. I might try to find a little background music, because you know, once I get rolling, I ain't reading. You know, you got to know that. You gotta know it. Oh yeah. You got to know it. Woo! Let me find a little something. We could just play my music. But I mean, this is definitely no copyright. This is just music I made on GarageBand. So it's a little thing I like to call John's theme. Thank you very much. And away we go. Out the way, bird.
Get up, get up, get up, get up. Oh, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Oh.
You know, I might just go the regular way. I don't think they're gonna say anything. I'm gonna just go this way. I think I'm being too paranoid. I got the red light. Probably should have went the other way. We'll see what happens. Well, we made it. That was actually, I was actually nervous. Because I don't know what they would do. I don't know, man. If they would shut me down and just make me park there until Schneider comes and has another driver come and get this load, or what? That was a little nerve-wracking. But I made it. Woo-hoo. I made it. Now we're making the climb up the grapevine. The infamous grapevine. It's very bumpy. Very, very bumpy. I don't really like it. Nobody likes it. It's bumpy. It's steep. And it's long. Too long, if there is such a thing. Am I right, ladies? Am I right? Anyhow. So if you recall, we did make this climb not too long ago. About a week ago, I guess. Back 8 miles, Castaic, 43. We will not be going through Castaic. We'll be taking the cutoff through 138. But this is Interstate 5, southbound. We're southbound. We're going southbound now. Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow. I think up at the top near the summit, I think they did get some snow here a few days ago, but it's probably all gone by now. But I think they might have had either some closures, lane, the freeway, or some lane restrictions, or chain restrictions, or something. I think a few days ago. But certainly down here it's all gone. We might see a little more of a dusting on the very, very tippy tops of the mountains when we get to the top. get back over. A lot of buffering through the canyon here. Called last time they were leaving. So I'm just gonna head over to Palmdale. Like I was saying earlier, they're not gonna take this load till Monday. And Palmdale to Riverside's not that far. I don't think. It might only be like, I don't know, 60, 70 miles, 80 miles from there. Maybe less. I don't know. I haven't mapped that part of it out. I kind of wish they would let me just drop this in a yard in San, because Schneider has like a few different yards in San Bernardino area in Ontario. I wish they would just let me drop it there and relay it, and then I can just take off up to Vegas today, right now, you know. Figure out what I'm going to do. I guess take it over to Freightliner, find out how much it's going to cost. It's going to be a lot. And I was just in there. Like what, a month ago, 2 months ago? I guess it's been a couple months now. I just paid, how many thousands of dollars for that? I forget now. And I know, it's easy to say, well, you know, why are you dumping so much money into this old truck? You just get rid of it and get another one. Well, because even a decent, I mean, I don't even know what's decent, but a used truck, you try to get something that, you know, if it has low miles on it, they're going to want $80,000, $90,000 just for a used one, and then, you know, and the brand new ones are ridiculous. I don't know if you can get a brand new one for under 200 grand now. So I kind of figure, you know, so what if I dump in 4 grand here and 4 grand there? That's still cheaper than 80 or 90 grand, you know, right? But then, you know, after a while, that 4 or 5 grand, it adds up to the 90 grand. You're like, well, I guess I gotta just buy maybe a nice used truck for 90 grand. So I don't know, but I guess the point is, it's all the same as far as money, laying out money is concerned. I don't want to go back to being a company driver. I'd rather just retire than be a company driver. So, unless it's a really, really sweet gig that pays really well, and they let me just run my own thing and, you know, stay off my back, you know, then I guess I would consider it. But other than that, I'd rather just retire. I don't need some fucking asshole, you know, riding me, you know. That's what I like about Schneider. I pretty much never hear from them, and they never hear from me. It's just, you know, just every now and then we have to contact each other. And most of it's just done through emails and shit like that. So I like that. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. Just let me do my thing. Well, there's no snow up here. So whatever they got, it just melted like in a few hours probably. Like I said, that was a few days ago. But I remember hearing about the grapevine getting snow, and I think but that was probably 4 or 5 days ago. And it's warmed up since then quite a bit. So up here is a Flying J. I could stop at this one, but I'll just go to the Palmdale one. It's kind of like the last one. It's like the closest one to Riverside that isn't going to be like a clusterfuck, because they do have one down in right near Riverside, but it's more like near San Bernardino and stuff. But that one's one of those ones. It seems like it's full, like 24/7. Because parking is at a real premium down there. I could go down there, but I'll just go to the Palmdale one. That's close enough. That way, if they do let me relay it, let's say they have a driver that could just go over to Palmdale to pick up this trailer, this load, and then from Palmdale, it's a lot easier just to start heading out to Vegas than it is if I'm down in Riverside. But they will probably still want me to take the load into San Bernardino or whatever. I don't know. They haven't got back to me on that yet. I have a feeling no one will until Monday. Anyhow, because all the weekend people they're the weekend people. They're not like the regular people that you deal with. They're mainly a sort of, I don't know if you call it a skeleton crew or not, but they're just there to handle like emergencies that come up and stuff that can be put off till Monday. They put it off till Monday. Well, this road, it's all covered in dirt and stuff. I think this must be where the snow was a few days ago. Wouldn't know it now though. Take it back. So we are almost at the summit. Tahoe. This is the Tahoe summit. Not to be confused with the Cajon Pass summit. Here we are coming up on the sign. Tahoe, well, see, this is Tahoe Pass, 4144. Now, we're going to be going through the Cajon Pass if I go down to San Bernardino, in Riverside. So you got the Tahoe Pass here, and it just, I don't know, what, 60, 70 miles to the east of us here, we got the Cajon Pass. I always thought, maybe you guys don't think it's funny, but I always thought that was funny. and they're both about the same elevation. We are doing a little bit of buffering, I guess. I mean, on my end, it just looks like it's cutting out. Like it's saying disconnect. I'm assuming that's the right terminology to say buffering, because I'm not seeing any buffering. You know, buffering to me is when you get that little, I don't know, frozen screen and a little swirly thing. On my end, it just goes completely blank. So, buffering, losing connection, disconnecting, I think that's all pretty much the same. In my humble opinion. So this is Gorman. Oh yeah, so right now we're in Gorman. It's basically a McDonald's, a Carl's Jr., a couple gas stations. There's a little supermarket. They used to have a laundromat down there. I don't know if they still do or not. And there's like a couple of houses. That's it. That's Gorman. And in fact, the whole city of Gorman, one time, it's been a while now, maybe like 20 years ago or something, but they used to have a big old for sale sign. Like the whole city of Gorman was for sale. And I always thought that'd be cool. Like if I won the lottery or something, just to buy my own city. Because it'd probably be, I don't know, back then it was like, I don't even know how much they were asking for. A couple $1 million or something, you know, I don't know. And then I would change the name. See, if I change the name to Fowler, there already is a Fowler in California. Well, screw it. I think you could. They don't own my name, so I would just change it to Fowler. Now that makes things too confusing, I guess. It'd be like, I'm going to Fowler, and it'd be like, well, which one? The one that used to be Gorman, or the one that's up by Fresno? The one that used to be Gorman. Oh, okay, yeah, that's the cool one. That's the cool Fowler. The one up by Fresno is, you know, full of hicks. The Gorman Fowler is much more sophisticated. Yes, more sophisticated. Sophisticated Fowler. Yeah, we speak with some sort of weird. I'm not sure what kind of accent that would be. That would be mandatory, by the way. You have to speak some sort of weird accent that no one really knows what it is. That would be the Fowler Gorman accent. Man, do I just when there's no music and stuff, I just ramble. I'm a rambling kind of guy. Yeah. Ramble. I don't know, I could play some more of my garage band music. But just about played everything. I only have like 3 or 4 songs there that I made. So we're almost to our exit. Thank you very much. All of you. Thank you very much. Yeah. All of you. Thank you very much. Oh, and I do want to thank you very much for being here. I don't see the chat because, you know, I don't see the chat when I'm driving. But whoever's here, thanks for being here. We're probably just not going to be too long of a show today. Just get over to Palmdale. Probably only like an hour away from here. Maybe less. Yeah, about an hour ago. And I'll probably shut her down. So now we're going over to Highway 138, otherwise known as Blood Alley. That's one of the nicknames. The Death Highway, the Highway of Death, all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of people have been killed on this highway. Very infamous.
Southeast on I-5 south in 36 miles. Take exit on the right for California 14 north and I-5 south. Out of route. Drive the road behind you. On I-5 or route from current location.
Jill doesn't like that I'm going this way, but too bad, Jill. In case you don't know, Jill is the tablet voice. You know, like instead of Siri or
South 195 south in 35
whatever.
miles. Out of route.
We call this one Jill.
195 for route current location.
I didn't make that up. That was what Schneider says. That's what the guys or the drivers or whatever they are calling that voice. So I guess that's the name. I've been calling her, or it. It's not her, right? I've been calling it Jill for 10 years now, or however long that thing's been around. So I guess it's stuck. I guess, you know, it is what it is. So we got 54 miles to Palmdale, and probably at least another 10 or 15 minutes once we get to Palmdale city limit there to get to the pilot. So it'll be a little over an hour, probably an hour and 15 minutes, whatever. This is Highway 138, Blood Alley. I've had my little incidences here. I don't know if you saw my video I posted, but from, I guess it was like a year ago or whatever, where a rock went flying through the side window, not the front windshield, but the side window right here by the driver's side. Smashed the whole window all over me. Scared the shit out of me. Pretty sure, because at the same exact time there was another big truck coming the opposite direction. It was one of those trucks that comes out here to the cement plant out here, I think, is where it goes. They haul rock. It's like a rock hauler. Somehow, and they don't have any covers. They don't have any tarps on their things, which I think they should. But somehow a rock was able to, and I'm speculating, but what else could it be? Somehow a rock got kicked up. Either it came off of that guy's truck, or maybe it just was one that was on the road already, and his tires kicked it up, and it just, you know, flung right into my side window here. Right at the exact moment that I was passing by. There's a video in it if you want to see it. It's kind of interesting. In fact, I might repost another video. I was just looking at some of my old TikTok videos. I've been repurposing those. I guess is that I've been posting those on the YouTube. And there's one. And some of them are a couple years old. There is a one that I made of me coming across here. That there was a wreck. Maybe I'll post that today. It's just me kind of waiting in line as the CHP is sort of waving traffic through. And, it's just a little short, like 20 seconds or something. Since I'm going through here today, maybe I'll post that one on the short. Just for shits and giggles, you know. So now we got over the hill, and now we're getting into some a little bit of clouds here. On this side of the hill. A little overcast over here. Now I was looking at the 5-day forecast, and I think it was, I forget if it was Monday and Tuesday or Tuesday and Wednesday, where, you know, it just has like the percentage of chance of precipitation. And so like the next couple days, it was just like 3%, 5%, whatever. But then I forget. Like I said, I forget if it was Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday. But on those 2 days, it shot up to almost like 80% chance, and then it went down to like 60% chance on the next day. So it looks like I'm gonna get some rain on those 2 days, but it looks like we might get rain today too. I don't know. Even though, well, at least for that Wheeler Ridge area, that's where I was doing the weather. I was checking the weather from. They weren't supposed to get anything until early next week. I don't know. Maybe the forecast was for rain over here today. I don't know. In the Palmdale area. So anyway, we're just we're heading east. I'm headed pretty much straight dead east here on Highway 138. Just getting out of these kind of foothills. And then we'll be going into the desert. The Mojave Desert. Yes. Oh yeah. Do, take me back. Do. But it's not bad weather for being February. I went to IHOP for breakfast. It's funny, last night after I did that DOT and I got the fail and all that, I guess I got kind of depressed or something. I don't know. I hadn't had dinner yet, and I knew there was an IHOP here, and so I guess as my comfort food was like, I'm gonna have breakfast for dinner, So I went in and I went to IHOP and I went and got the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity because they have a deal. It's only $7 for the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. So I got my Rudy Tooty Fruity pancakes with scrambled eggs with cheddar cheese and bacon. That was like my little comfort meal because I was feeling kind of, I don't know, depressed is the word, but I was just kind of upset, I guess. I don't know. And then this morning I got breakfast. Well, it was actually almost noon by the time I got up and went out there. About 11, I guess. And to the restaurant. And even though there was a Denny's, the Denny's was kind of like right behind my truck. There's a Denny's. You saw that video. You saw like my truck. Well, right behind that is a Best Western, and then they've got a Denny's right in that same parking lot. But I think I like IHOP better actually. Nothing against Denny's. Denny's is Denny's. It is what it is, right? But I think I like IHOP better. So I went ahead and went to IHOP again, and I like the big steak omelet. I got the big steak omelet for breakfast. With pancakes. So I had more pancakes. Now I'm yawning for some reason. I got good sleep, man. I think I slept a solid 8.5 hours or something. Maybe I got too much sleep. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but I've been told. I don't know, but I've been told. Big lady ain't got no soul. I don't know. I've been told. It's getting kind of dark out here. A bit cloudy. It's a bit cloudy today out here in the desert. In the Mojave Desert. That's where I used to live. I lived out here for like 30 years. I didn't live this far out, but I did live pretty far out. I lived out in Roseman, which is just down the road about, I don't know, 10 or 20 miles. Let's see, what are we at? We're on, this is, did it say 280th Street? So I think my street would be like, the street, turn up to go to my house is about 18 miles from here, I think. If I'm doing my math correctly. Oh man. I think the clouds make me tired. It's like it's the kind of day when you just want to curl up under your comforter and watch TV or something. Which is what I'm going to be doing when I get to the pilot. Because not much else to do over there. At Pilot, I noticed that this pilot in Palmdale, and I also noticed that at the pilot up in Madeira, which is just north of Fresno. So far, those are the only two places I've seen it, but they started serving Indian food, these Indian dishes in their little hot food section there. And it's actually, I had it last time I was here in Palmdale. I actually got that. It was actually pretty good. Now, I'm not saying that like Indian food, because we know Indian food is good, but Pilot made this Indian food, and it was actually pretty good. So, and I don't forget the name of it, but they had two different kind of dishes. Plus, they had rice, a certain rice, and then they also had that bread. Looks like pita bread, kind of. What do they call it? I forget the name of it, but they had that, and then they had these two different kind of dishes, or what do you want to call it, entrees. And one was kind of a creamy, kind of had chicken in it. I forget what it was called. And then this other one was really dark. And I had both. They gave me both. They practically gave me the other one. I guess because one of them looked really gross, and no one was buying it. And so they were like, "Here, you can have this for free," or whatever. This other entree. I was like, "Yeah, let me try it." So they put it in like a separate little cup, styrofoam cup thing. And she gave me a whole bunch. I thought she was just going to give me like a little sample size. She gave me like 4 ladles full of this thing. But it was that, and I took it back to the truck and it was eating, and it was actually really good. It did look gross, whatever it was. I forget what it was called. When I go in there, they probably still have it there. I'll look at the name. They have little, maybe I'll get some more for dinner. I don't know. They had little, little name badges or labels, whatever. But anyhow, it was actually really good. Rumble strip. On that rumble strip, boy. Get off that rumble strip. So Highway 138 eastbound, Blood Alley, Highway of Death. That's what we're on right now. The Highway of Death. Very tragic, horrendous accidents along this road. Just since I've been living here, in the last 30 years, it was already known as Blood Alley for 50 or 60 years prior to that, probably. Anyhow, I'm just cruising through here. Just want to say again, thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It don't cost you a dime to hit that subscribe button and share. Would you please share the show? I mean, it's not everywhere you can go where you can see Blood Alley, right? I know it sounds like I'm kind of joking and kidding, but really it is true. It is called Blood Alley, and it really is. Especially, I guess, at night, it's worse, you know. This little 2-lane highway, it's very dark, and people are screaming through here at high speed. They try to make passes that they shouldn't make. A lot of head-on collisions. A lot of, you know, intersections where people just run intersections, like stop signs at the intersections, stuff like that. So yeah, this is, especially at night. I've been through it here at night. You know, it was right around this area. In fact, I took a video of it. I never did post it. It was pretty hard to see. But you're coming up, and it's like pitch black out. And there was a car on the side of the road, and I don't think he had lights on or anything. And then at almost the last second, I kind of catch her, like, I guess my lights sort of reflected off their tail lights or something. I don't know. I just remember it was really hard to see. And then there was an oncoming car, and I'm just doing like 55, 60, whatever. And the car wasn't all the way off on the shoulder. It was like halfway onto the pavement, you know. And I remember I just very narrowly missed both the car that was parked on the side of the road and the oncoming vehicle. I mean, I just like thread the needle. I was like threading a needle, right, with an 18-wheeler. That was just a few months ago. I probably should post that video. I never did edit it together. But it was really scary. I mean, really scary. And I didn't see anybody around that vehicle. I think maybe the vehicle ran out of gas or broke down, and then they just left it. Maybe trying to, because like just back a little ways was like that gas station. Maybe they walked over there. I don't know, but I didn't see any people around or anything. But man, it was scary. So remember, if you break down, if you can, I know sometimes the car breaks down and it just breaks down where it breaks down, but if you're able to move your vehicle, you know, don't leave it halfway sticking out in the middle of the road if you can avoid that at all. And if you can put your 4-ways on or 2-ways on, that would be nice too. You know, some kind of light or something. Although I know, like in dust storms, they want you to pull over if it's like a really bad dust storm. You can't see like 3 feet in front of your face. I think they want you to pull off the road, if you're going to pull off the road, and then shut your lights off. Because otherwise, if you have your lights on and then say someone sees your light, they might think that's where the travel lane is. Like if you're not in the travel lane and you pulled off to a shoulder, or you found some area that you can pull off, and you just want to like kind of ride out that storm or whatever. Because I've been through some dust storms that are worse than any fog. I mean, you literally cannot see past the end of your hood. You know, you can barely see out the windshield at all. And So I think they, if I remember correctly, they're not really supposed to. If you're going to park, they get out of the travel lane, and even that's hard because sometimes you can't even see if there's a shoulder. You don't know. So for me, lots of I just keep going. I very rarely would pull over because sometimes you don't know if there's a shoulder, if there's no shoulder. There could be a cliff right there. I mean, so you got to pretty much, if it's a road you've traveled on a million times, then maybe you know what's there. But if you're not familiar with it, it's scary to pull off. So it's scary to keep going because I hate driving in when there's no visibility like that. And my, I guess, instinct or whatever is to want to pull over and get off the road. But then I don't want to do that because I don't know. I'm pulling off into really, really super soft sand, and then I'm just gonna get stuck or whatever. So yeah, running in those things those conditions are really, really scary. Now I'm trying to move over to the right. You see I'm hitting the rumble strip because there is a truck behind me, a pickup truck, and I'm trying to let him have some visibility or to see if he wants to go around me, but he doesn't seem to be wanting to go around me. So now we got some cars coming, so it's good that he just stays behind me. But there is going to be a bit of a line of traffic, but the speed limit's 55, and I am going over 55. I'll just say that much. It's not like I'm going 35 or 45 and holding everybody up. At least I'm going over the, over the speed limit a little bit. And I am trying to move to the right as much as I can to give at least the vehicle right behind me a ability to see this oncoming traffic. And then it's on them. If they want to go around, they go around. If they don't, they don't have to. I don't really give signals anymore. Like I used to just I would turn my turn signal on, my left turn signal on, or I would wave out the window or do my marker lights, just to let them know, just try to let them know that it's clear, they want to go around. But I don't do that anymore because, for one thing, they might not know what I'm saying, what I'm trying to communicate, and number two, it's on them to do that. I don't want to be responsible if they go around, and then there was a car coming or something. It's not up to me. I'll like I said, I'll try to move to the right here. I'm kind of hugging this white line here, trying to give them a little bit of ability to see, because right now it's clear. If they want to go around, it's been pretty clear. But other than me just moving a little to the right here, that's about all I'm going to do. I'm not going to wave them over. I'm not going to wave them around. That's not my responsibility. And then they could see when I move over to the right like this, and I can see the whole kind of driver's side of that truck. So I know he's able to look down and see that there's nothing coming. So I'm doing my part. Now there are some clouds in the sky. There you can see kind of like that. There is some dark smoke coming up from the ground, so there is something else burning. But this is a lot of agricultural. They do a lot of ag stuff. They burn a lot of stuff off. But somebody's burning something. It's like. This is the area along through here. Last time we drove through here, I was talking about the poppies. This is where the poppies grow. But like I said, for like the last, I don't know, 20 years, maybe even longer, 25 years, the poppy crops have been really sparse and really hit and miss. Like where some years it's like nothing, and then some years you'll get some sort of pockets of poppies. But I can remember from a kid growing up and coming through here in the 60s and 70s, and then moving here in the late 80s where I moved here, in the springtime, these fields on all as far as you can see would be all orange. It was so beautiful, and people would come from all over just to take pictures of it, you know. And they would go and sit in it, and they would take pictures of it, and it was pretty much a yearly thing. And then I guess just with all these droughts and everything, it's really like even if you do have maybe a little bit of a wetter year, that doesn't mean you're going to have a good crop of poppies. I think the seeds have gone away or something, you know. But let's see. This is February, so March, April. Yeah, I maybe next month we might start seeing a few poppies pop up. And then certainly by April, if there's going to be any kind of a poppy crop that's any good, we should know by April. But that's usually when they started doing the poppy festival over here in Lancaster. And I thought it was funny because for years and years and years there was never any poppy festival, and that's when they used to have like the best years of these poppies popping up. And it almost seems like as soon as they started doing the poppy festival, the poppy yields have been terrible. You know, like maybe the first few years they had some somewhat decent poppy, growth or whatever, coverage, and the people will come from all over, all over Southern California or whatever to go to this poppy festival, and it was so popular they had like helicopter rides where you could get in the helicopter over in Lancaster, and they would fly over here so you could see the poppy fields from the air. Finally that truck went around me, and there might have been a couple of good years where that might have been worth whatever they were charging. I never did do it. Probably should have, but yeah, I never did. But I'm not even sure if they still do helicopter rides anymore, because, like I say, the poppy yields or whatever are just pretty pathetic compared to what they used to be. When I was growing up. And even when I moved here in the late 80s, early 90s, it was still pretty good. Same damn thing. Forgot before I started, and then instead of just putting it in the charger right away, I started putting it in the mount thingy, and then I just forgot about it, and I'm really pissed off right now. But anyhow, we're back. I was able to resume. Last time it happened, I guess I waited too long, or I wasn't able to just resume, and I had to start like a whole new one. But at least this time, I guess I was acting fast enough or whatever, and I was able to just resume it. But so anyhow, we're back, and I was talking about poppies and stuff like that. I'm not even sure where it shut off at. I was just rambling and bambling. It might have been off for 10 minutes for all I know. I don't know. But anyhow, I won't relive it. I won't make it go through that again, whatever it was I was talking about. We'll just start afresh and see what this smoke is all about. Something was smoking. I don't think I don't think it's like it used to be, where if you wanted to burn your leaves and wood, or debris or whatever, cut clippings. It used to be where you could do that legally, and then I think because of like pollution and stuff, air pollution. And this has been quite some years ago now. I think they made it where either you had to get a burn permit, or you couldn't even burn it all, and you had to just take it to like a landfill to, they have compost areas and stuff. So I don't know what this, but if you're like an agriculture, if you're like a farm, then that's different. You're zoned differently, and there might be some sort of ag stuff that where you're legally allowed to burn off, clippings or old, whatever's left of whatever they're harvesting, right?
5 miles. Take exit on the right for California 14 South, Los Angeles, Lancaster, and California 138 East.
Thank you, Jill. That'll be all, Jill. Now go make me some coffee. Now, if Jill could make me some coffee, it'd be worth having her around. You know what I mean? All right, so we are still on Blood Alley, Highway 138, eastbound. We headed east, people, and getting closer to that puff of smoke. And I'm kind of curious. I did come through here on Avenue 60, because I used to live right off of 60th Street. It's on Avenue 60, 60th Street West, and Holiday Avenue is where I used to live. And I was coming down here one night, and there was a building fully engulfed in flames. So I get out, I call 911. Yeah, this is 60th Street. This is my street right here. This is my cross street, my old cross street. And so I call 911, and I give them the address and where I'm at, and I tell them there's a building is completely like engulfed. I run out to see what's going on and see if there's, I don't know, if there's people in it or whatever. And but basically it wasn't like there was a house, and then behind and off to the side was like well, it looked like a house to me, but I guess it was maybe some sort of, I don't know if it was a barn or some kind of other structure. And I ran around. I was yelling. I didn't see any people around or anything. I don't know what the hell happened. Anyhow, the fire department got there. There was nobody inside, so at least I didn't just stand here and let someone burn to death. But I don't know what that was all about. If that was, and I never did stick around or find out if that was arson or some sort of accident or whatever. That was weird. Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to this black smoke. It looks black. It's dark gray. Getting closer to the freeway. We're going to be jumping on California 14 in about 2 miles. Now over here they do have some little solar farms.
2 miles. Take exit on the right for California 14 South, Los Angeles, Lancaster, and California 138 East.
I don't know if that has anything to do with the solar thing or not. What is it? What is on fire? I'm on fire. So right here, kind of close, you can see there's like a little water tank thing. That's a little solar farm right there. like probably like 10 acres. It's not even all the way built up, but so the fire thing is past that. It's almost by the freeway. It looks like it might be even on the other side of the freeway. Yeah, I think it's on the other side of the freeway.
1 mile, take exit on the right for California 14 South, Los Angeles, Lancaster, and California 130 East.
I know that there's a lot of homeless people that live out in that section of desert where they just get like old RVs and old campers and shit, and they've just been living out there for like years and years and years now. And there's also, I think, a water reclamation type of plant right here, a little bit closer, right next to the freeway. I don't know what that dark smoke is, though. I guess we'll never know, because I'm turning right here.
Take exit on the right.
All right, I will. So we're taking 14
Quarter
south.
mile, continue on to Aerospace Highway.
Aerospace Highway. That's a lot of smoke. There are some houses over there too. I don't know if a house is over there.
Continue on to Aerospace Highway.
Aerospace Highway. That's a new one.
Proceed south on Aerospace Highway in 10 miles. Continue straight on to California 14 South. Proceed south on Aerospace Highway in 10 miles. Continue straight on to California 14 South. Then, after 105 feet, continue straight on to Aerospace Highway.
Wow. That's a new thing. I never heard him call this Aerospace Highway before. Like I say, I lived here for 30 years. There's a lot of aerospace industry here. Sunseeker. Here we are. So this would be, I guess this is Lancaster. I'm just trying to think, because like to the north of me is Rosamond, but their city limit isn't until like Avenue A, but this is Avenue F, so I'm pretty sure this is considered Lancaster right here. There goes that Schneider. That's probably the one I passed up on the grapevine. Now he's passed me. He has gotten his revenge. Take it back. Now, if you go down Avenue, I think it's Avenue G. I think it's still there unless they took it out. But if you ever saw those old commercials, it's been quite a while now, I guess. At least 10 or 15 years, probably, maybe longer. When they had, I think it was a Volkswagen commercial, some car commercial, car ad, where they made it for that, where you could drive over it, and it would play like, I don't know, Beethoven's Fifth or whatever it was. I forget what it was. And you could hear your tires would run over. It would and you could hear make this musical sound. And then they just kept it there. And I remember I would take my kids when my kids were smaller, and I'd go, "Want to go down Musical Highway?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." And so we would go down at, I think it was right. Was it G or H? It might have been H. I forget now. And I'm not sure if it's still there or not. But it was there for years and years and years. Like they just kept it. And I don't know if they ever like just paved over it or whatever. But it's pretty cool. So if you're ever here, that's a thing to see if it's still there. Probably can Google it. And then you can find out the exact street. I don't think it's H, because H is right here. I don't know. It's either G or H. I should know it, right? But I lived here for 30 years. I took the kids down that road at least a dozen times. Different times. We just passed the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds. Every year they have a big fair there. Coming up on downtown Lancaster. And again, from the freeway, all you're going to see basically is freeway. On the right-hand side, you might be able to see some light stanchions. Is that what they're called? The big lights. That's the minor league baseball stadium. It was always known to me as it was Jethawk Stadium. I don't know if they've changed the name or not. They're always changing shit. And I'm not, I don't live here anymore, so for all I know, it could be something else now. But that's the Single A minor league baseball stadium. Yeah, it was fun to go out there and watch some games. Lancaster Marketplace. Here's Movies 12. I remember when I first moved up here, Movies 12 was like the shit as far as movies are concerned, movie theaters are concerned. That was the state-of-the-art thing. And now it's been that way for probably 15 years now. It became the dollar theater. Now the best theater is over by the mall down here. It's all Cinemark. All the theaters here are Cinemark. They have they used to have at least a half a dozen of them, and some of them were just like that was Movies 12. That was the biggest one until the one by the mall came in, and but each one. They were built in different years. They just would buy. So they made one was like a 4 cinema one. One was like a 6 cinema one. Then Movies 12 came in, and that was a 12 cinema one, right? And then they kept the other ones open too. So they had all these theaters around town. And then eventually they started just closing down the other ones. So one became a church, one became like a carpet store. I don't know. There's another one. I don't even know what it is. But I think the only ones they've kept that I can remember. Well, there is one on Palmdale Boulevard, I think. I haven't been down there in a while. That might be close too. But like I said, they used to have at least a half a dozen of them all around town, maybe more, between Palmdale and Lancaster. And but they kept the Movies 12. That's basically your dollar theater. And I don't even know if it's $1 anymore. I just call it dollar theater because it was obviously they changed. It was $1. Maybe it's a $2 theater now or a $3 theater. I don't know, but and then your main nice one that plays all the new movies is up here by the mall. That's in Palmdale. So yeah, man, we got a movie theater and everything out here. We got the picture show out here in Palmdale, Lancaster. To the left, if you can see it, that's the big city park. That's where they have the Palmdale Festival, or the Poppy Festival. and that's always a pretty big deal. Even if the poppies don't come out, they still have the Poppy Festival. So we're coming up on the Palmdale, Lancaster sort of a city limit where they butt up against each other. This is fascinating stuff, I know.
Continue straight on the California 14 South, then after 105 feet, continue straight on the Aerospace Highway.
Okay, Jill. Thank you. I lived here for 30 years. So. Palmdale, next 5 exits. Can you guys feel the excitement? We're almost to the Palmdale city limit. I think I see the sign. I think I see it. I'm getting goosebumps. Goosebump time. Right here, next is 40. Palmdale city limit. I was trying to read the population. I think it's at 154,000. I'm pretty sure there's more than that. Tell me this like every mile. So yeah, this is California 14. Southbound. Now, if I stayed on the 14, this would go back into Santa Clarita, which is your Newhall, Valencia, Saugus, all that. And then you would run into Interstate 5 again, and then you could just take that southbound. That takes you into the San Fernando Valley, which is like Sylmar, San Fernando, Van Nuys, Burbank, all that shit. And then keep on going on 5, then you go into LA. And if you keep on going on 5, you'll go all the way to San Diego and basically pretty close to the US-Mexico border. But we're not going all that way. We're just going to go a few more miles and then take Pear Blossom Highway over to the Pilot. Over to the Pilot, going to the Pilot, going to the Pilot. I got a disabled vehicle here on the shoulder. Looks like the CHP has tagged it. Tagged and ticketed. I don't know what the ticket was. It's got to get moved or it's going to get towed. So that's the mall on the right hand side. You can see like El Torito, an Outback restaurant, an Olive Garden. Got a Macy's. There's my favorite, Red Lobster. I like getting me a little lobster tail and some steak. Here's Ashley's Furniture Store. Michael's. This is outside the mall. That's like across the street from the mall. There's Tommy's. Tommy's Burgers is really good. Every now and then, you know, I crave a little Tommy's that's chili on it and everything, cheese. now and then. Like that's one of those things. Like about like once a year, I like to go and get that. Got a CarMax. Yeah, we got all the cool stuff here in Palmdale. We got a picture show. Got a mall. Got a CarMax. What else? What else do you need? I'm going to need to get over, people. If you don't mind. Yes, do you see my little blinky light? I need to get over. I need to get over. Alright, now it's time for me to hit the brakes and be a pain in the ass, everyone's ass. If you're not going to let me over, I will be an asshole. Jesus Christ, people. You got 3 other lanes over here that you can move over into. Okay, 2 other lanes. I couldn't get over because that RAV4 thing was right there. Just FYI. That's why you gotta, if you're coming on a freeway, it's your job to learn how to merge. That's not my job. That's your job. I'm already on the freeway.
5 miles, take exit 30 on the right for Angeles Forest Highway.
But sometimes if I can get over, I'll get over. If I need to slow down or speed up, I'll do that too. But for the most part, if you're the one getting on the freeway, you're the one that needs to figure out what you need to do. Because you're the one that's trying to get on the freeway. I'm already on the freeway. And they usually do give you enough little runway there. You can stay to the I don't know what's going on with that, but I'll go over for that too. Beamer broke down, I guess. Alright. No, he's just now pulling out of there. Behind me, that beamer behind me. Got a little bit of a climb here, so gonna drop her down a gear. I know on the video it's hard to see, like if I'm climbing a hill or not. It kind of just always looks flat, right, or level. And this is a little bit of grade here. There goes that beamer. So I know like BMW, I've always called them Beamers. And so I thought like just like the spelling for Beamer to me would be like, it could be either B-E-E-M-E-R, or I guess it could be B-E-A-M-E-R. Either way, I don't care. But there's a shop in, I guess it's Lancaster, where they just work on BMWs, and they call it, well, I think they call it the Beamer Shop, but they spell Beamer B-E-A-M-E-R. B-I-M-M-E-R. And I've never understood that.
Take exit 30 on the right.
Like, how do you get that spelling? B-I-M-M-E-R. Beamer. It should be B-E-M-E-R or B-E-A-M-E-R. I cannot for the life of me figure out why it would be B-I-M-M-E-R. I've never been able to figure that out. I think they're still around. I don't know. But it's been a while since I've been in that area. I had a garage where he just worked on BMWs, and he called it. I guess he called it the Beamer Shop, but it looks like Bimmer Shop to me. And sometimes, go figure, right? I almost wanted to go in there and ask him, well, why do you spell it that way? I never did. So yeah, we're going to be exiting here, Pear Blossom Highway. Pear Blossom Highway.
Take exit 30 on the right for Angeles Forest Highway. 1.5 miles. Stay left for Pearl Blossom Highway. Then, after 174 feet, turn left to Sierra Highway.
Got a sharp curve here. Take it nice and easy. So I don't have any tip overs, any rollovers. I did roll over a long time ago. I tipped over a truck. I was driving a flatbed at the time, and it had a really high load. I mean, it was
Stay left,
legal,
then turn left.
13.6 of lumber, and I was going around an on-ramp, kind of like that. A little bit different than that, but it was a sharp thing like that. And I literally was going like 8 miles an hour, which I thought was, it seemed okay at that speed. But about, because it was an on-ramp, so a little past like the halfway point, I started
Turn left to Sierra
to speed up a
Highway.
little bit because I was getting on the freeway.
Proceed northeast on Sierra Highway.
But I thought I was just
Continue straight
was
on
gradually
Pearl Blossom Highway.
doing it. And I remember looking at my speedometer to watch my speed. I think I had gone from about 8 or 9 miles an hour to, I remember looking at it, I was going 14 miles an hour. And I don't know, and then all at once, because I was just, I was conscientious of the speed. I didn't want to, and I knew about that high center of gravity and all that kind of stuff. And just as I looked at that speedometer and I was just kind of looking at the traffic, just on the freeway and stuff, all of a sudden, man, that load just tipped over. It just started tipping over. It was just like the weirdest thing, man. I mean, it just took over. Once it started going, a second, I guess, or whatever time, because stuff like that happens and like time slows down or whatever. And so it was like this sort of microsecond or second where I was trying to figure out what was going on. I didn't realize what was going on because I just heard these skid
Northeast on Sierra Highway.
sounds.
Continue straight
And
onto
what that was,
Blossom
it was the
Highway.
tires being forced to kind of go in an opposite direction, and then when
Continue straight onto Blossom Highway.
it was going, and it was from that big lumber like falling over to the left, you know.
4.5 miles. Stay right. Continue on Blossom Highway.
And then, so for this second of time, I'm holding the steering wheel, and I'm still trying to drive. And believe me, it's probably only a second. And then you have this realization of like, oh shit, this thing's going over, you know. And then you realize, okay, there's nothing you can do. You're at that point. There's no saving it. There's no nothing. You just got to go along for the ride. So I think I just kind of let go of the steering wheel, and I was all buckled in and everything, and I was only going, 14 miles an hour. But it just tipped right over, right there on the on-ramp, you know. And when it fell over, it kind of like, I guess the side window, of course, it smashed. I think the windshield kind of smashed. I just remember getting covered in glass, and then being kind of dazed, kind of in shock for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, because there were cars behind me, and they were all, nice people and everything, they were like, kept running to see if I was okay and kind of helped me out of the trunk. And I just crawled out through the windshield, And that was on Interstate 40 in Gallup, New Mexico, right there at, I think it was exit 16 or something. And so I remember just waiting, and like the cops came, and they had to call out wrecker service, all that kind of stuff. And I remember telling the cop, he's taking my statement. It was a New Mexico State trooper or something. And I remember I told him pretty much like what I was telling you guys. I was like, I go, yeah, I looked at this speedometer, I was watching my speed, and he's like, how fast were you going? I go, well, I just looked at it, and I was going 14. And he goes like, 40? And I go, no! And then I go, 14, 14, And he wrote it down and stuff, and he's like, okay. And then I could hear, and then another trooper was interviewing another like witness, and I just happened to hear him. I guess I was walking away or whatever, and I just happened to hear him say like, pretty much backing up what I had already told the other cop, because I heard him say something like, yeah, he was going really, really slow, So I was like, all right, good. These witnesses are going to back me up, because the cops, they could have. If I was going like really fast, I guess they could have written me up for reckless driving or whatever. But as it was, I didn't even get a ticket. I didn't get cited for anything. So that was cool. I never got anything, citation, no nothing. Nothing was ever on my record. So that was really cool. I was worried that it was going to be, but there wasn't. And that was long. That was like in 08, I think. So like, what was that, 15 years ago? And that was the last time. Or that was the last time I ever pulled a flatbed. Because after that, I hitched a ride home with another driver from the company. Because it was a small company, but they had like 6 or 7 drivers. And there was another driver that was coming through there, going back to Palmdale. And I was able to hitch a ride with him like the next day. And when I got back, they were all cool about it. And they said, yeah, go take some time off. And we'll get you another truck and all this kind of stuff. And then, okay, and here's the thing that happened though. I started getting really, really sick. and I mean really, really sick. And then my on my leg, like in my inner thigh or whatever, there was this dark kind of red line or dark, almost black line. And I'm like, and I felt like sick as a dog, like I had a bad flu or something. I didn't know what was going on, so I go down to the hospital, and they're like, "Did you get into a wreck, like a car wreck recently?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Did you get a bunch of glass all over you?" I was like, "Yeah." Because they're like, "Yeah, you've got an infection. You got this infection in your leg, and it's good that you came in here because it kept climbing up. It's like you can see it was climbing up towards your groin, you know. And it's like you didn't." And the nurse was like, I think it was talking to a nurse, and she was like, "Yeah, you see where it was going. You didn't want that to keep going, did you? Because you'd be in a really, really bad situation." I was like, "Oh yeah, I know." And but they were saying like the glass, when you get into a wreck, and even though it's like that safety glass, it's like, and you can get that. And I had that happen with the like I was telling you what happened on Highway 138 over there too. I had that glass shatter on me, but I didn't get any infection on that one. But you know, they were saying like, because the glass could have dirt in it or whatever, or dirt on it, and you could get like these little, like you, because I didn't even see any cut. I don't remember seeing any cuts, or I don't think
1 mile.
bleeding or anything from that wreck, like I recall. But I did get like showered in the glass, you know. And I got a motel right across the street from there, and it was Motel 6. I went in, I took a shower and everything. But anyhow, but that they said that's common, like for people who get into wrecks, and when they have like glass shatter on them, like the windshield or any of the glass, that it's kind of common to get like an infection. And that's what happened to me. So anyhow, I went to the hospital, and they just gave me, they actually put me on an IV for a while. I had to do like IV antibiotics with an IV because it was so bad. And I had to come in like for like a few days where they would hook me up with the IV, I think for, I don't know, an hour or a couple hours or whatever it was. And then I think they prescribed me some more antibiotics to take home or whatever. And then it cleared up. So I was doing that, and while I was doing that, and I told this company what was going on, and then it was a mother and a son who owned that company, and the mother was basically like the dispatcher, and she ran the office, and she did the payroll and all that. And the son, he was a driver, and then, like I said, they had some other drivers, like 5 or 6 drivers. Oh, why is this place full? But she was all like, "Yeah, come on in. We got a truck for you. I got a load for you." And then when I was feeling better, it was at least a week or maybe 2 weeks. I think it was like a couple weeks where I just was off and everything. And then when I go in to go get the truck and get the load information and everything, she wasn't there. And it was just the son who was there. And he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Your mom said to come in." He's like, "No, you don't work here anymore." I'm like, "What?" He was being like a real fucking dick about it. It was like, "Hey, look, dude, if you want to fire me, fucking fire me. But as far as I know, I mean, your mom. I've been talking to your mom, and she was always the one that always ran everything as far as dispatching loads or whatever. And it wasn't like she was doing something that she wasn't authorized to do. You know what I mean?" And so he was like, no, you don't work. He's like, "No, you don't work here anymore," or something like that. I'm like, I was like, okay, fuck you, dude. I mean, I go, I don't really give a fuck, but just know that I'm just doing what I was told. I was told I had a load, I had a truck. As far as I knew, I was still working here, but so don't come on to me with your fucking attitude, you know. And I don't know. So we got a little tense there for a second, but I was like, oh, well, whatever. You're an asshole. And the thing is that I think they made out like bandits because just a few weeks before that, another driver wrecked a truck and totaled it, and then I totaled the truck, and they made out really, really, really good on the insurance. And I think they ended up just like getting rid of all their trucks, all their drivers, and then he bought a brand new truck, and then they just started doing where he pretty much just drove. He got into like this like heavy equipment moving thing, and what pays really, really, really good. So he was able to just sell out everything, bought him a brand new, spanking new, awesome truck. And then his son, who was just like 16, 17, was just getting his license and stuff. And I think they were gonna, get him into a truck. But then I think he became like his pilot driver because he was doing these loads where he needed like a pilot driver, a pilot car. And I think his son was doing that, and so that's what they just did. And that's fine. And if you want to do that, and that's great. And I have no problem with that. But you didn't have to be a dick to me. And I mean, if you want to let me go, let me go. You want to fire me, fire me. That kind of shit doesn't bother me. But when I have one person telling me, yeah, come in, we got a truck for you, we got the load, you're gonna go to Albuquerque and all this shit. And then I get there, and then that lady, for the first time ever, I worked there for about a year. First time where I went there and she wasn't there. So evidently, she chickened out, or she fucked up, and maybe the son said, no, we're not keeping him, we can't, or whatever. And she didn't want to be around, but she didn't tell me, and then, so then I got to deal with the asshole's son, who wasn't really an asshole, but in this particular case, he had like a fucking attitude, right? And I was like, dude, fine, fire me or let me go or whatever. I don't give a fuck, but don't tell me one thing and have me come here. I mean, your mom could have just told me. And he goes, and he's like, oh, I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what she's talking about and all this kind of shit. So anyhow, that was my experience with that trucking outfit. As you can see, I'm here at the Pilot in Palmdale, California. Good old Palmdale, California. I found me a parking spot here today. I'm just going to park here. I think we're like 80 miles from Riverside or so. And this load that was supposed to be delivered by today, they pushed it out till Monday. I don't know if they're taking the weekend off over there or what. So I'm going to sit here. Unless they can relay this thing here. Bill Dinkins says, sad news today. Former President Jimmy Carter on home hospice. Yeah, Sam, the guy's like 100. But let me just look. I'm looking at the chat now that I've stopped for the day. Well, let me do one thing at a time. I'm not a very good multitasker. Let me go ahead and do my thing over here. 98. Let me look at the Dilly Majigger. 98's a good run. That's a good run. It is 1553 hours, 100 hours. I'm just sort of clocking out here. So for today, we ran. Let's see how did we do. We only did 83 miles today, and I'm in Palmdale. And let's see. I think I've got.
Drive to road ahead on Pearl Blossom Highway or reroute from current location.
It says 113 miles. I don't think that's right. Um, Sometimes when you stop, it routes it back to a different spot. Yeah, 74. I'm 74.7 miles, so basically 75 miles from my destination. From my destination. All right, guys. All right. Well, how'd you like that little run through the mountains and through the deserts and all that good stuff? That was a little bit of a run, huh? Let me see. I'm just looking at some chats here. WW says Jolie and I are working on my battery and praying for cats. W says FaceTime taxing my battery dead, testing the power supply. Jolie says help support Joe John. Yes, thank you so much. Any support we get is greatly appreciated. Keep the show going. Bill Dickens says happy Saturday, everyone. And Jolie says, hey, Bill. And W says, Bill. Then that was where Bill was talking about Jimmy Carter. W says, fucking wait, too many folks to pray for, but I pray for him already. Bill Dickens says it sure is. Bill Dickens says taking a 34. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I will be. Unless they can relay me. But like I said, on the weekends, it's hard to get a hold of anybody. So I'll probably will be here till Monday, no matter what. Gus 2, hey, Gus 2, thanks so much. Thanks for your support, Gus. Thanks for being here. Thanks for buying me a coffee. I really appreciate that. It was awesome. He says Jimmy Carter equals good man. He built a lot of homes for those less fortunate. Yeah, he's a great man. And he should have been a two-term president, but Reagan and his people around him, they cheated. They really did commit crimes, I think, around Contra and all that. KO says Bimmer is correct because of it being British company instead of USA company for BMW. That doesn't make 1 ounce of sense to me. I don't care if it's English. Bimmer is not Beamer. Beamer is Beamer. I don't get it, KO. What did the British say when that word the way it's written? Do they pronounce it Beamer? Bill Diggins says they use the hostage situation. Yes, that's Iran Contra. Anyhow, it's explained on their website. Do they say that that's how they talk funny? Do they explain how they're English and they talk funny? They say when they write down the word Bimmer, do they say Beamer? I still don't get it. I still don't get how Bimmer is Beamer. Anyhow, and that's why we had a revolution, because they're just funny people. like way too funny to be a part of. That's why we had the revolution, to get away from those funny English people and their funny way of talking. Right? Am I right? Am I right? I'm right, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm being whatever a bigot. I guess, am I being a bigot towards England? Is that bigotry for the English? Those chaps, those limey chaps. I guess it's been a long time. I guess I should forgive them. We did win after all. And they were really bad sports about it, because then they came back, right? In what, 1812? Trying to start some more shit. Okay, so here we are, more on the explanation here. Gus, who says, if it is a German derivation, then the I is EE. Bill Deacon, BMW equals bring more weed. KO says, laughing out loud, Bill. I like to read the chats and then say them in my own funny little way. It's like, laughing out loud, Bill. in like the opposite way that it's probably. Anyhow, Gus 2 says, I should own a BMW. For the weed? But okay, so if it's a German derivation, but okay, BMW is BMW English or German? I thought they were German. Are they BMW? Are they English? I don't know. I like Beamers. I've driven a few Beamers. They're nice cars, but I prefer Porsche. So. If we're gonna go foreign, you know. Yeah, Bavarian Motorworks. I was trying. Isn't Bavarian German? Yeah, German. Yeah. So they're not a British company. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. If it's the last thing that I do. Oh, wait a minute. I got to clock out. I didn't clock out. I mean, the clock's still running. I got to go to, let's go to sleeper berth. I'm going to end my shift. I'm going to end my shift. Just look at that. Take a look at that. 83 miles I drove. So that was an 83-mile run from Wheeler Ridge to the pilot here in Palmdale is 83 miles. Just make a mental note of that. And how long was I driving? I have 1 hour and 47 minutes of driving time. Almost 1 hour and 48 minutes to go 81 miles or 83 miles. We did have one little slow up at the way station. That took a few minutes to get through there. And then climbing the Grapevine was kind of a slow thing. Other than that, the rest of it was pretty good, right? Pretty smooth sailing. I would say. I would venture to say. Let's see, we got what, 9 people and 16 thumbs ups. Thank you guys so much for the thumbs ups. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're up to five. What are we up to? 528 now. We didn't hit my goal. My goal was to get 1 million by yesterday. That was another thing. Maybe that's why I was depressed too. Maybe that's why I got the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruities pancake deal. It was only $7. It's a pretty good deal. But also we didn't hit that goal. That was pretty depressing. So I had a double whammy yesterday. I failed my DOT, and also we didn't hit the 1 million subscriber goal. That's two. That was a double whammy yesterday. So maybe I should sort of reevaluate, reset the goal. Maybe we should make it more like 1,000. Can we get to 1,000 subs by the end of the month? That'd be, hey, is that too much to ask for? Let me get the little shade thing going here. Okay, so today's Saturday. What's going on today? Anything going on? Oh yeah, Bill, you missed it. You missed the whole DOT thing, man. But let's see. Kenneth Auto says Isuzu Japanese car is pronounced Isuzu. Isuzu. Let's see. I'm trying to disregard what you just said. I'm trying to remember. How do I say it? Isuzu. I think I say Isuzu. Isuzu. No. How do I say it? How have I always said it? Isuzu. There goes an Isuzu. There goes a an Isuzu. No, I'm not. Now I'm all messed up. I don't know how I normally would say it. Now you've messed me up, Ken. Yeah, it's Japanese, pronounced Isuzu. I think that's probably how I say it. So Bill Deacon says, since I've been working in Chicago Auto Show, I checked out the Cadillac ESUV. It's a really nice SUV, well equipped, for $61,000. Wow, that sounds cool. What kind of range does that get? I wonder. Does it get three? It's kind of like the magic numbers are like 300-mile range, right? And then for a caddy to be 61,000, that's not bad. Ken says Americans say Suzu. They don't say the first part. I say the first part. I don't just say Suzu. I think I say like Isuzu. I think I say Isuzu. Yeah, I think I said it right. 300 miles. Okay, that's not bad. That's about right. So yeah, Bill, I failed my DOT yesterday. They found the main rear seal was leaking, and so that failed it. So now I've got to get that fixed. That's why I'm under a load, so I don't know. I'm waiting to hear back from Schneider if they want me to go ahead and finish delivering this load, or if they're going to have to set up a relay to have somebody else come and pick it up or whatever. They haven't got back to me. In the meantime, they pushed, and this is before the DOT thing, they pushed the appointment time to Monday anyhow. So regardless, it was going to be Monday. Either they're going to set up a relay probably from either this spot or maybe some nearby place, or I don't know. I really don't know. But in any case, one way or the other, this is the last load that I'm going to have until I get the truck fixed. And so as soon as I get off of this trailer and get off this load, I'm just going to deadhead or, bobtail. Probably bobtail. I don't think they're not going to have me haul a trailer or anything like that. I'm just going to bobtail back up to Vegas and then get it figured out up there. Do you need new eyeglasses? Americans say I think I do, Ken. They say, is Suzu. Okay. I did it the other day with Kinky Streets. He said a thing, and the word that he wrote any, and I thought it said my. And just making that one mistake changed the whole context of what he was saying. Uh, Gus 2 says, most I know say Esuzu, 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 Isuzu. I think I say Isuzu. But now I don't know. I, it's like you know, I've been tampered with. Uh, W says I could afford a couple, and it is union made. A couple of caddies. W says steers my thought. I don't want a plug-in Prius. I gotta make sure I'm reading this right. Steers my thought. These are just stupid cheap reading glasses. I need to go get a prescription, and I've never gotten prescription glasses ever in my life. And it's time to do it. I need to do it. And then I want to get LASIK, but I don't know. Just because I hate fucking glasses. My pillow fell over. I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at the shot, and I can see my RAM pillow fell over. And I'm very sad about that. I don't know what I'm going to do. Bill Diggins says, Wes, I suggest you check it out. I think it will catch on quick. Priced right, too. Yeah, because, I mean, for me, 61,000 is a bit steep. But for a Cadillac, for a brand new Cadillac, that's about, you know, it's not like some of these cars that you, like these, that look kind of cool, like the pickup truck, not the Lightning, but the, what's the one, it starts with an R. It's like the not Riviera. What's it called? Bill, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, those are starting off at like 90,000, and then to get them with anything on them, they're going to be over 100,000. Um, you know, so to get something like a Caddy that's really nice and luxurious for 61,000, that's not bad. I don't think. KO says, I tried to date a Japanese woman. She knew she was betrothed to someone else. Japan traditional wedding after high school. I didn't until I asked her to marry me. I also briefly studied Korean. Wow. That's pretty cool. I'm lousy at learning other languages. Bill Deacon said, "Hell, a brand new F-150 Lightning starts at 85." I thought they had. I thought they had the very low base price. I thought was like $39.99. Like they were coming in under 40 grand. Now that was for the lowest thing, like the lowest range, the lowest everything, right? And then you could get one that was pretty well equipped. For I don't know. I've been watching videos on them. I thought they were saying like, you know, 65, 70, 80, and 80, like 80 would be the high. 80, 85 would be the high. But maybe not. Colin Spencer, hello, Colin. Colin. What kind of rig you using? We talking about what kind of big, like a big rig that I'm driving? It's a Freightliner Cascadia. KO says which is why I know their vowels are pronounced differently. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you studied, man. Gus 2 says the Ford Ranger small Ford truck is 40K. Yeah, they must have really raised their prices then from like last year because they did have the Lightning, the bottom of the line, smallest range, smallest everything. It wasn't a Ranger; it was an F-150 Lightning. They did list them at like 39 something. Oh my gosh! But that was last year, so I guess they raised their prices. Collinsburg says that's what I thought. They're super common. I always see them. Yeah, Freightliners are. They're kind of like, you know, the Ford of pickup of big rigs, I guess. You got your Freightliners, you got your Kenworth, your Peterbilt, your Volvo, um, International, um, was it Western Star or whatever, which I think Freightliner owns now or has for quite a while probably. What else we got? Like just looking here, but yeah, but look at here. So if we look across the way here, um, from all the way to the left, okay, so you got Volvo. Next to that's a Kenworth. Then you got Freightliner, 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 and then Peterbilt, and then International. And it's off the screen, you guys can't see it, but and then another Volvo, and then I can't see those spaces. It's like a drop trailer, and then maybe an empty spot, and then another Freightliner, and then right next to me is a Freightliner. So yeah, Freightliner is the most common, I guess. Um, oh, Bill says the Freightliner is a Chevy of semis. Okay. Oh, Mack. Yeah, there's Mack trucks. Yeah, and Volvo I mentioned. There's two that I can see of that are here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 counting my truck. And out of the 12, I think I see two Volvos. I think just one Kenworth, one Peterbilt, and everything else is a Freightliner. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Freightliners. And they ain't cheap either. I bought this truck in 2015, and the price, I didn't, I paid it over time. The price was 164, and this was like a kind of a base model. This wasn't even, it didn't even come with an APU unit. It didn't have anything, no fridge, nothing. And it was 164,000. Now, I mean, I haven't even priced them, the new ones, in a few years. Like a few years ago, I was looking at them, and they had gone up just in 5 years from like 164 to like the bottom price was like 225, and that was like I think in 2001. That was a couple years ago. I haven't even checked the prices since then. Um, it's just crazy. It is crazy the prices on these god dang things, and even the used ones. I was thinking about getting a used one, and you're still getting even at like 80 or 90,000 for one that's a few years old. you're still getting a truck that has 650,000 miles, 700,000 miles. So I'm like, and my truck has 858,000 or 848,000. It's not much lower than what I got now. So I don't know if I want to buy a $90,000 truck that has just like 100,000 miles less than what I got now. You know what I mean? So it's because these are the things I'm thinking about. Like, you know, I don't want to get into a new truck and all that. Really paying like almost like $250,000 for a freaking truck. And I don't know if I want to spend almost 100 grand on a truck that only has 100 or 150,000 miles less than what I got now. So maybe I'll just dump a few grand into this and try to keep it going. Because I'm 62. I don't know. I might retire. I mean, I was thinking I was going to drive till I was 70, but I don't know. I'm thinking more and more about not waiting that long, you know, not driving that. Maybe 65, maybe 66. I don't know. Maybe 63. Who knows? So that guy he's got his axles all the way to the back. That's not really good. He needs to slide those. So, Bill Deacon says, I like the Volvo interior with the pop-up table in the sleeper. Oh, I haven't seen that. I really haven't, I guess, looked around lately. Colin Spencer says, I like the old school cab overs. They are my favorite ones ever. The old cab overs. I've driven a cab over. They're kind of weird. I mean, they're kind of cool. Of course, the bad thing about it, if you ever have to, like, well, you do have to almost every day, right? You have to, like, check your oil and shit. So that means, like, anything you have in the cab, you have to have it, like, secured down, tied down, battened down, because the whole cab flips forward. So that's kind of the hassle of that. Whenever you check your oil and stuff. Let's see. Bill says I'm a cab over fan too, Colin. But they look kind of cool and they're kind of fun to drive. And they are the good thing about those is they are easier to maneuver in tight spaces, and they are good for if you're doing a lot of like city deliveries or places that have especially old buildings where they didn't really design them very well for big trucks. And that's why you see a lot more in Europe, the cab overs, because they have a lot of tight spaces, a lot more there than the open spaces we have out here. Colin says, what model Freightliner? White Freightliner. So you're talking about the one right across from me, the one with the black grill? That's a later model. I think those are all Cascadias, but I think because there's like four of them right in front of me. The three with the older grill, that's more like my year. Mine's a 2016, so those are probably looks like around that year, 2016. Those might be as far. I'm not sure. I forget when the new body styles came in. So those could be 18s, they could be 20s maybe, but then or maybe not 20. And then that one on the right with the black grill, that's a new body style that came out. I guess it's been a couple years now, and I think they call those like maybe Bill might know. Like I can't remember, but it's like the P38 or something like that. Yeah, but it's a Cascadia, but I guess it refers to maybe the motor or maybe it's just that design style. They call it some kind of like P8 or P30. I've heard them talk about it, but I don't have that truck, so I forget. But there is a different kind of thing that they call it. But so Bill Deacon says bobtail in cab over sucks. They bump. Feels like you're going to flip. Yeah, I don't think I've ever bobtailed a cab over. I think I've always been hooked up to a trailer. Colin says the model of you drove. the model that I'm driving now, the Freightliner that I'm driving, it's a Cascadia, 2016 Cascadia. Um, and then W is saying hi to Colin. So so yeah, that's the trucks. Yeah, Freightliner is probably. I mean, I don't know if this little sample is a big enough sample, but based on our sample, we can see that Freightliner is definitely the dominant in terms of you know sheer number of trucks. That's probably true. I mean, I'm sure Kenneth Otto could Google that for us and see what is the most popular in terms of sales, I guess, truck in the United States, like big rig truck. I would say it's probably Freightliner, but there's a lot of Kenworths, there's a lot of Pete's out there, a lot of Volvos, there's a lot of everything really, but I would say probably Freightliner. I guess maybe they're the cheapest, and so big fleets can buy them because they buy them in bulk or whatever and get fleet price. I mean, they get pricing on any of these. Like for a while there, I don't know, Swift switched over from Freightliner to Volvo for a while because Volvo was giving them a better price, and then I think they went back to Freightliner. But you know, that's a big fleet problem or big. That's their issue. Uh, Colin says cab over engine. Sorry for the confusion. Oh yeah, no. The model of the cab I drove. Oh, of the cab over I drove. Oh, okay, cab over. I drove. It was a Freightliner. I only drove it. It was during. I had this job back in the like early aughts, 2000 aughts, from about 2005 to about 2008. So for about 3 years, I went back home. I stayed where I was more home. My kids were really young, and I didn't like being on the road. So I started doing a lot more just local driving and kind of on call driving and seasonal work. And there was this one company. I guess they're still here. They're called, oh shit, what are they called? Anyhow, they do they do those book fairs for schools. Like how schools have those book fairs and or whatever, and they sell books and they sell all those little things that they sell, little games and little puzzles or little like pencils and all these little things that the kids can buy for them when they have these little book fair things. I think it was called Signature Fundraising. Yeah, I think it's called Signature Fundraising. And their headquarters or whatever is right here in, I guess it's Lancaster. And so I did a couple of different seasons with them, like because their big season. I guess they have a couple of times during the school year that's their big thing where I think they have one part of it is where they have these little fairs and the kids all put their orders in, right? And then it's like a few weeks later or a few months later or whatever, then that we go out and we make those deliveries. And so I did that for a couple of those different seasons. And they had a cab over. Mostly they did just like box vans, right? Like little box vans, kind of like U-Haul or Penske type of a box straight truck. But they did have two 18-wheelers, and I was like, I had my CDL. I was like the only one. They had one guy. They did have one guy that was their kind of like over the road guy who had a CDL, and he had a truck, and he would go to Dallas because from Lancaster, and I think that's where they were picking up a lot of their stuff for their warehouse, right? And he would go make these runs from Dallas back and forth. And then I think he was the only CDL, and then I had a CDL, and then everybody else just had regular licenses, so they could just drive all the box trucks and stuff, and straight truck. And I would drive those too. But then there was sometimes on some of these runs where they had another big truck. It was the cab over. I think the other guy used, I don't think was a cab over. I think that was more of a conventional type of truck. But and so as I recall, that was a Freightliner. And it was like an older one. I don't even remember the exact model of it, but it was like a Freightliner cab over, and it was probably like something from the. I would say it was like probably from the early '90s, This is like the mid 2000s. This is like 2006, 2007. That truck had to be, maybe it was even in the from the 80s. It probably was. I don't know. But it was in good shape. It was really good shape. It was really cool. The interior, it was really cool. I remember it was sort of like red, like I think it was like red leather seats or something. It was like something you would see out of like a Smokey and the Bandit movie or something. And it was a really cool truck. And I drove that like on a few times where we had kind of like a really big load of a whole bunch of schools that they would do, and I would drive that out. I remember driving it out to like Bakersfield or out to even past that. There was like kind of far, and then they would we would just offload all these different schools. It was like a whole bunch of different schools that we had to do. So anyhow, uh, so Bill says definitely the Freightliner is most sold, easy on pocket, and any repair shop can do work on them, including warranty work. Except apparently, the Petro that I was at couldn't do that seal leak. They said they couldn't do it. KO says Freightliner more than 70,000 sold annually at 40% market share. Thank you, KO, for looking that up. Bill says Volvo and Peterbilt have to be taken to the actual dealer. KO says most reliable is Kenworth, most expensive and least fuel efficient. Wow. I do like the Kenworth. I had a Kenworth T680. It was a company truck. This is the only truck I've ever owned. Is this one right here? This Freightliner. But just before I got into this truck, Schneider put me into a brand new KW. It was like the T680 or whatever it is. And I really, really liked that truck. That might have been the nicest truck I've ever had. But that was a company truck, and then shortly thereafter, I decided to become an IC, and I got into this one. So let's see. WW says, I don't remember why I am W, except that I advertised you in Facebook. What does that have to do with being W? Anyhow, thanks for that. Colin Spencer says, okay, nice and an oldie. Yeah, it was like an oldie, but it was really good shape. I remember it was really nice shape. It drove really nice. It was really smooth to shift. And I really did like it, but it was just, I didn't sleep in it, or it had a sleeper in it, because I remember I would have to take a whole bunch of guys, like I said, because it was a, I don't know if they had a 50, I don't know if that was a pub trailer. It might have just been like a pub trailer. I don't know if it was I don't think it was a 53-foot trailer. It was either, so a pub trailer, it's either like, what, 27 feet or 24 feet, or it might have been something like maybe a 45-footer. It wasn't your standard 53 that they were using, but it was bigger than whatever they could get in those box trucks. So I remember I would drive, and then there would be have a guy over here in the passenger seat, and then back on the bunk, there was like 3 or 4 more guys just like sitting back there, and then we would go, like I said, it was kind of a far run, and we'd have a whole bunch of schools that they were trying to just get delivered and knocked off, like in one day. So we'd leave really early in the morning, like sun wasn't even up yet. I mean, drive out there, and we'd hit like 5 or 6 different schools, and so I had to bring like a whole little crew with me, and then we'd come back and we'd be back by the evening. W says Pearson and Scholastic. Yeah, it's Signature Fundraising is the name of the company, and they sell probably Scholastic stuff or whatever. I don't know about Pearson, but W says my mom worked for a company called Baker and Taylor, a large book supply company. And Colin Spencer says Cavaliers are also the hardest truck to get into. Really have to yank yourself up onto them things. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. It might have been a little. Yeah, it is a little bit like higher than this, probably, than this truck. I'm just trying to remember. But you got your handholds, and and then you got your steps, and you just get up in there. But it was good. It was pretty cool. But I wouldn't buy one. I wouldn't want one. Like I said, every time you open the hood, all your shit, you got to make sure you keep all your shit like tied down and shit and secured. And that'd be a real hassle. But I guess if you were doing just a lot of times, you might just be like a day driver. Or day. It's almost like even though you have a sleeper, most of them have sleepers. Some of them, there are cab overs that don't have sleepers. They're just day cabs. But those are good. Like I said, especially if you're going into cities and there's lots of tight areas and tight loading docks. Like some of these places. That's why I hate going to LA, because a lot of those places that you go into or built like in the 30s and 40s, back when they didn't have big trucks like this. They had big trucks, but they weren't like this, and they were designed for like a truck that's probably at least a third shorter than these rigs, and they're still expecting you to bring these rigs in there, and I just hate going in there. I get really pissed off. I get really pissy because I'm like, what, you want me to bring this into that little tiny area? No, I'm like, no. My attitude is like, no, it wasn't designed for this truck. I'm not bringing it in there. And I've had a few times where I've just told Schneider, I'm not going there ever again. Don't ever send me to this place again. If I ever see it and it's on one of my loads and I didn't realize it until after, because when you book a load, they don't tell you the name of the company. They just give you this the city, right? So I'm like, if I ever book this load and I didn't realize it was this place, you take me off of it. I'm not going there. There's a few places like that where I will not go to, not in a rig like this. It's ridiculous, and drivers put up with that shit. I don't put up with that shit. Colin says the steps are built into the fenders, and you have to step on the tire too. Huh? I don't remember that. Like I said, that was like around 2006, and we probably only did those type of runs like a few times. It wasn't like every time, every day. Like a lot of times, I was just driving like a box truck, but I probably drove that cab over, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, different times, where they had those certain ones where they just wanted to load up a big trailer and get it and go out there. But yeah, I don't recall. I don't recall it at all. But anyhow, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and we'll put an end to this. I got to go inside and all that good stuff. Let me go ahead and take that off of there. And let me just say thank you guys so much for being here and going on the ride with me from Wheeler Ridge out to Palmdale, California. Thanks for the thumbs ups and the likes. Thanks for subscribing. Make sure you hit the share button, and that way you'll know when I come back on again. Thank you, Jolie. Thank you so much. I hope you feel better. W says battery died. Tried to hook up buds, but I will lose John. Well, I'm about ready to sign off here, Wes. Colin says, yep, thanks for the video. Thank you, Colin, for coming here. I don't think I've ever seen you on here before, so thank you for coming on, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. And so next time I'm on, you can see me again. All right. And W says, John and truck. He's hugging my truck too. Thank you. My truck appreciates that, Wes. KO says, that's like needing both lanes on a 2-lane road to turn into 7-Eleven trucks. What was like that? Julie says, thanks. And Colin says, when's the next one? I don't know. I usually try to do at least Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's sort of my regular time. And then I do sort of what I call impromptus. Like today was kind of an impromptu. So, like I say, if you subscribe and you hit like the notification button, hopefully you'll be notified whenever I go on. I'm just my wheels are kind of turning. I'm kind of thinking like if I should have other more regular times or not. But I kind of just other than Tuesday and Thursday, I try to do those 9 a.m. ones Pacific time. I'm usually in the Pacific time zone more than anything, or sometimes the Mountain time zone in the USA. I'm not sure where you're from. If you're, this is the World Wide Web, so you could be from anywhere. Um, I'm not sure, as far as time zones and everything, if you were in the same time zone or not. But like I said, I'm not sure. I might get bored and want to do one tomorrow, but I'll probably just be sitting right here in this parking lot. So I don't know. But W says his name might be Brandon, but he is a nice guy. Um, and Colin says, I'm sub now. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Colin, for subbing. I appreciate that so much. Jolie says Trucker John streams every Tuesday, Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you, Jolie. W says I'm giving John a lead into his happy ending. Colin's ended up in Utah. Okay, I go up there quite often. Up there in the Mountain Time Zone. KO says your least favorite delivery, same as the 7-Eleven delivery route. Okay. Okay, Kenneth. Stephanie B2. Oh, I just hopped on in time to say goodbye. Well, thank you. Hey, better late than never. We're always glad to have you. Thanks for coming in. Make sure you thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. But I'm glad you came by. W says, I don't have a microphone or I would call. Oh, yeah. I did like your version. I don't know if you heard me the other day, but I was because I was praising you, giving you high praise because I was you did a liberal dance show. I thought that was really, really great. I really liked it. Your version. And look at this. What is this? Why do I have this like weird straggly hair? Anyhow, WW is giving Stephanie B2 a hug, and Stephanie B2 says, "Yep, thumbs up." And you heard it. Good. So I wasn't sure. I couldn't see the chat when I was doing that. But yeah, that was really awesome. And Stephanie is got the emoji with like the red cheeks. I never know. Does that mean hug too? I always forget. Anyhow, I'm terrible at emojis. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. We'll go ahead and end it. I've been procrastinating. I'm doing the House Sparks Midwestern goodbye. I think is what I've been doing. Okay, hug. And Colin says, well, I got to go. Good night. Yeah, thank you, Colin. Thanks for being here. I got to go too. Thank you so much, you guys. I'll see you when I see you. So in the meantime, make sure you keep the rubber side down and shiny side up and all that good stuff. And I will see you when I see you. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.